Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Ray of Light through a Legal Love moment. Happy, blessed Tuesday. Today, we make reparation for our families, but also today, I have the big honor to talk to you about our saint of today, Monsignor Oscar Romero. He is a saint from my home country, El Salvador. So I am delighted to talk to you a little bit about him so you get to know him and you pray to him and you love him. He is powerful. So Archbishop Romero, like all saints, was a man so deeply committed to prayer that it could be said that his entire life was one long conversation with God. Even as a child, he displayed a devotion to prayer that was precocious. Oscar Romero was born in the early hours of August 15th, 1917, in Ciudad Barrios, which is a little small town in the northeastern of El Salvador. The household into which Romero was born was sometimes financially pinched, especially after his father's death. All acquaintances remember Oscar as a quiet boy and serious. He was intensely devout from an early age. He was the one all his brothers would say that prayed the most in his family. He would put on one of his mother's aprons over his head and make believe that that was a vestment from a priest. And he would go around the street of Ciudad Barrios, inviting all the kids to come in procession for Our Lady. He already thought he was a priest. And as a story that Monsignor Romero often told about an event of his childhood when the bishop, Juan Antonio Dueñas, who 5 years later would send 18-year-old Oscar off to Rome to study for his priesthood, made, when he was like 13 years old, an episcopal visit to Ciudad Barrios, where Monsignor Romero lived. And Oscar was dressed up in his best new outfit, best Sunday outfit. And he followed the Bishop Dueñas everywhere while he was in town. Well, when the Bishop Dueñas noticed this boy that followed him around, turned around and said, "Boy, what are you going to be when you grow up?" And he answered to the bishop, "I would like to be a priest." So the bishop bent down and jabbed him on the forehead and said to him, "You, my boy, are going to be a bishop." He became a saintly bishop who was murdered by a shooter with one bullet when he was 62 years old, when he was celebrating Mass on the 24th of March, 1980. His last words as he laid in a pool of blood at the chapel of La Divina Providencia were, "Those who surrender to the service of the poor through love of Christ will live like the grain of wheat that dies." In 2018, wearing the blood-stained belt that Monsignor Romero had when he was shot celebrating Mass, Pope Francis declared him a saint. And this scarf was given to everybody that was present at the ceremony. This is the flag of El Salvador, and it was given to the Order of the Nuns that we help the children, the school that we help, and the nuns gifted me the scarf that was handed out during his sanctification ceremony with Pope Francis. And I'm honored to to hold it and feel close to Monsignor Romero, a saint from my home country. And please join me in singing a little bit, a few verses of the Pope of St. Francis of Assisi peace prayer. Make me a channel of your peace. There is hatred, let me sow your love. When there is injury, your pardon, Lord. When there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. When there's despair, let me bring your hope. When there is darkness, only light. And when there is sadness, true joy. Oh, Master, grant that I might never seek so much to be consoled as to console, oh, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my heart. heart. Make me a channel of your peace. And Monsignor Romero, you were definitely a channel of your peace. Pray for us, Monsignor Romero, and thank you. Thank you for all your hard work with the underprivileged of El Salvador. Thank you, everybody.